Tonight, before the stories begin, before you drift into that quiet space where the mind loosens its grip, I invite you to simply arrive. Just land here, gently, like a leaf, settling on still water. Let your body soften. Let your breath lengthen. Let the weight you've carried through the day melt slowly, easily into the surface beneath you. There is nothing to achieve now, nothing to fix, nothing to rush toward, only this moment, this soft turning of the breath, and the quiet comfort of being here. Take a slow inhale, as if you're breathing in a bit of fresh night air from a quiet porch somewhere, and exhale, like you're letting go of a long, tired sigh you've been holding without noticing. Feel your shoulders sink just a little. Feel your jaw loosen. Let your hands rest wherever they fall. You are safe here. You are welcome here. As you settle in, imagine a peaceful place. Not a perfect place, just a gentle one. Maybe it's a small cabin tucked near a lake, with old wooden steps leading down to the water. Maybe it's a porch swing, swaying ever so slightly in the warm evening breeze. Or a quiet bedroom, with soft lamplight and the faint scent of cedar. Or even a little town street after sundown, where the air is cool, the windows glow, and the world has finally exhaled. Wherever your mind goes, let it be somewhere simple, somewhere that feels like home, or like a home your heart remembers. Let the scene arrive slowly. Let the colors soften. Let the sounds fade in like distant waves, or the hush of midnight rain tapping gently against the roof. Tonight, you don't need to push anything away. You don't need to think your way out of anything. If your mind is still a little restless, that's all right. If your thoughts still swirl like a small storm, that's all right too. This is a place where even your restlessness can rest. You've carried a lot today, maybe more than anyone knows. The expectations, the tasks, the emotions that never had a chance to be spoken out loud. You've been juggling work, family, responsibilities, the quiet pressures that come from simply trying to be a good human in a busy world. But here, you can put all of that down. Imagine placing the day beside you, like setting down a heavy bag at the door. You can pick it up again tomorrow, if you need to. But for now, just let your spirit loosen, as if it finally has permission to breathe. Feel the breath move through you like a small, warm tide, coming in, receding out. Nothing forced, nothing controlled, just the natural rhythm your body already knows. As your breath softens, notice how the mind begins to open like a window cracked, just enough to let the night air drift in. Maybe you can almost hear it now. The soft rustle of leaves in the dark, the quiet murmur of a river slipping past smooth stones, or the gentle creak of an old wooden floor settling into stillness. These small sounds carry their own kind of wisdom, a kind that speaks not in words, but in calm presence. Tonight's journey, 1 hour of Zen stories and Buddhist teachings, is like walking along a peaceful path lit by moonlight. Each step slow, each breath soft, each moment leading you deeper into rest, deeper into peace, deeper into a quiet joy that rises naturally when the noise inside us settles. We won't rush. There's no need. Just imagine yourself moving through this quiet space, guided by stories as gentle as a lantern's glow on a long, calm night. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to thank you for being here, for taking this time for yourself, for allowing your mind and heart to settle. And if this channel has helped you in finding a little more calm, a little more ease, I'd truly appreciate it if you'd subscribe, not out of obligation, but because it helps us keep creating spaces like this, soft places for tired hearts. And if you feel comfortable, you can gently leave a comment when the video ends. Just type 1 if this brought you a sense of peace, or 2 if it didn't quite land tonight. Either way, it helps us grow, and it means more than you know. But there's no pressure. Right now, the only thing that matters is that you feel held in this moment, that the rhythm of these words feels like a warm blanket around your thoughts, that your breath continues to soften like a tide pulling slowly away from the shore. Let your mind drift now, like a lantern floating on a quiet river, like autumn leaves gliding over a gentle breeze, like moonlight resting on the surface of a still lake. In a moment, well, begin the stories, each one a quiet doorway into peace, rest, and the kind of joy that blooms quietly in the night. But not yet. For now, just breathe, just settle, just arrive. And when you're ready, well, walk softly into the first story together. Story 1. The Two Monks and the Young Woman. There is an old story, passed down through Zen temples and whispered in many American retreat centers, about two monks walking along a quiet country road. Imagine it the way you might picture a peaceful Sunday morning walk. Dew on the grass, a soft fog hanging low, everything muted and gentle. The kind of morning where the world feels like it's speaking in a whisper. The two monks moved slowly, the way people do when they have nowhere to rush to. Their robes brushed the dusty path. Birds called lazily from the trees. Everything was calm. After a while, they came to a small creek. It wasn't deep, but the rain from the night before had turned the crossing muddy and difficult. Standing at the edge was a young woman dressed in a clean kimono, too delicate to step into the mud without ruining it. She looked anxious, shifting her weight from one foot to the other, unsure what to do. The older monk, without a moment of hesitation, stepped forward, bowed politely, and lifted her into his arms. He carried her across the creek, set her gently down on the other side, bowed again, and continued walking. The younger monk followed, but his brow was tight, his mouth pinched. He said nothing, but inside his mind, thoughts tumbled like a restless river. Hours passed. The road stretched on. The younger monk grew more agitated. He kept glancing at the older monk, as if waiting for him to correct himself, to apologize, to acknowledge some terrible mistake. Finally, unable to hold his frustration any longer, the young monk blurted out, "We are monks. We are not supposed to touch women. Why did you do that?" The older monk stopped walking. He turned with a peaceful smile, the kind that comes only from a life of letting go, and he said, "Brother, I put the woman down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her? Let yourself breathe here, softly, slowly, like a long exhale after holding tension in the shoulders for too long. Hello. I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. And as the sky darkens, imagine placing one worry, just one, on the ground beside the path. You don't need to throw it away. Just set it down for now. Leave it beside the creek, like the older monk left the woman. Feel your body loosening, your breath slowing, your mind settling like still water. You are letting go, gently, naturally, and as you do, sleep begins to drift closer, soft as nightfall, warm as a blanket, quiet as a lantern glowing on a porch at the end of a long day. Let yourself rest. Let the road fade. Let the monks walk on. And let sleep slowly carry you deeper into peace. Story 2. The Overflowing Teacup. Approximately 500 plus words, calming Zen bedtime tone. There is another story known in Zen halls and meditation groups across America. It's the story of a professor who traveled to visit a wise Zen master. Imagine the professor as someone you might know, a person who moves fast, talks fast, thinks fast, someone always busy, always full of ideas, always carrying a mind packed tight with plans and opinions. He visited the Zen master, hoping to learn something deep, something life-changing. The master welcomed him into a small room. Maybe picture it like a cozy cabin room on a quiet autumn evening. Simple wooden walls, a low table, a pot of tea steaming gently. Outside, leaves rustle in a soft breeze. They sat together. The master reached for the teapot. As the professor began talking about all he had read, what he thought Zen was, what he expected to gain, the master gently poured tea into the professor's cup. The tea rose and rose and rose. Soon the cup overflowed. Hot tea spilled onto the table. The professor jolted upright. "Stop! My cup is overflowing." The master paused, teapot still in hand, and said softly, "Yes, and so is your mind. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? Let yourself breathe here. Just a slow, easy inhale and a gentle exhale that feels like releasing a long-held thought." You might notice how the professor's mind feels familiar. How many nights do our thoughts overflow like that cup? Plans, worries, conversations, replaying in loops. The mind busy filling itself, even when the body longs for rest. Consider this. You don't need to pour everything out. You just need to stop filling the cup. Imagine sitting in that quiet wooden room with the Zen master now. The light is dim, soft like candle glow. The air smells faintly of tea leaves. Outside, the night settles gently. The master sets the teapot down and invites you without words to simply breathe. You feel the warmth of the tea. You feel the safety of the space. Your shoulders loosen, your thoughts quiet, like snow falling on an empty street. Take a slow breath. Imagine your mind as that cup, and with every exhale, imagine a little space opening, a little room, a little ease, not emptying completely, just creating enough space for peace to enter. Let the warmth of the tea fill the room in your imagination. Let the quiet of the cabin wrap around you like a soft blanket. Let the night deepen, slow and steady. You might even hear the faint sound of wind in the trees, a calming rhythm that helps you drift. You might feel your breath growing heavier, your eyelids softer, your mind quieter. The cup no longer overflows. It simply rests, and so do you. Allow yourself to settle into that stillness. Let the room fade into darkness. Let the tea grow warm in your hands, and let sleep rise within you like a gentle tide. Slow, quiet, steady, carrying you deeper into rest. Story 3. The Farmer's Luck. There was once a simple farmer in a quiet countryside. The kind of place you might imagine on a warm evening with crickets singing in tall grass and the smell of earth after rain. One day, the farmer's horse ran away. Neighbors rushed in, shaking their heads, saying, "Such bad luck." But the farmer only shrugged gently and said, "Maybe yes, maybe no." A few days later, the horse returned bringing 2 wild horses with it. The neighbors exclaimed, "This is wonderful." The farmer softly replied, "Maybe yes, maybe no." Soon after, the farmer's son tried to ride one of the wild horses. He fell, breaking his leg. The neighbors cried, "Terrible luck." And again, the farmer said, "Maybe yes, maybe no." Weeks later, soldiers came to draft the young men of the village. The farmer's son, with his injured leg, was left behind, and the neighbors whispered, "Such good fortune." But the farmer smiled, "Maybe yes, maybe no. Take a slow breath here." As if inhaling the gentle breeze of that quiet farm. Let the story soften inside you. Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. To the one who tried to give it. "Exactly," said the Buddha. "I do not accept your anger. It stays with you. Let yourself breathe into that space. Imagine a calmness so steady that even a storm breaks against it and dissolves. Consider how, in your own day, someone's harsh tone or impatience sometimes lands like a heavy stone in your chest. You might feel that stone now, and also feel it begin to soften, noticing that not every emotion handed to you must be carried. Imagine sitting on a front porch at sunset. A warm breeze brushes past. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barks once. Then the world grows still again. Let that stillness be yours. With each breath, imagine returning unwanted tension, the way the Buddha returned that man's anger, not by fighting, but by simply not picking it up. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath deepen. Let the night settle around you like a comforting blanket, and let sleep arrive gently, like darkness gathering over quiet hills. Story 5. The Heavy Stone. A monk once traveled with a heavy stone in his bag, believing it helped strengthen his resolve. But each mile grew harder. The road stretched endlessly, like one of those long American highways that seemed to melt into horizon. Other travelers passed him easily, while he struggled, breath tight, shoulders aching. Finally, an elder monk saw him bent beneath the burden and asked, "Why carry what you don't need?" The younger monk frowned. "To grow stronger." The elder replied, "Strength does not come from clinging to weight, but from knowing when to release it." The elder replies, "Take a slow breath. Imagine yourself carrying a stone of your own, perhaps a worry about tomorrow, a regret from years ago, the quiet pressure of trying to do everything right. Feel its heaviness, and then imagine gently placing it on the roadside. You are not throwing it away, just resting it. Now imagine the path ahead as a soft dirt trail at dusk. Fireflies flicker, the air cools, your steps lighten. Without the stone, the world feels easier, wider, safer. Let your breath slow with each imagined step. Let your chest relax. Let your mind drift. Sleep comes naturally when we release even a little bit of the unnecessary weight. Allow that release now and drift quietly toward rest. Story 6. The Lute Strings. A young monk struggled with meditation. His mind was restless, his body tense, his breath tight. One evening, he confessed his frustrations to an old master who listened patiently. When the young monk finished, the master picked up an old lute. He plucked one string, pulled too tight, its sound sharp, harsh. He loosened another string too much, its sound flat, dull. Then he tuned a third string to a gentle middle tension. It rang out clear and warm. He said softly, "The mind is like these strings, too tight, and it breaks, too loose, and nothing awakens, but balanced. It sings." Let yourself breathe into that balance now, not forcing relaxation, not chasing calm, just finding a middle place. Imagine yourself sitting on a quiet porch at night, a soft, warm light behind you, the world hushed. You might hear crickets or the low hum of distant cars. Everything easy, not too tight, not too loose. Let your breath find its natural rhythm. Let your mind soften, like a guitar string easing into the correct tone, and feel your whole being drifting into harmony with the night. As your breath slows, let sleep tune the rest of you, gently, patiently, beautifully. Breatherited, 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 breatherited. Story 7. The Broken Cup. A Zen master once held up a delicate teacup and said, "To me, this cup is already broken." His students stared at him, puzzled. He smiled, "Because I know its fate. Every moment with it is precious." Imagine holding your own favorite cup warm in your hands, with the faint scent of morning coffee or herbal tea. Imagine knowing that one day it will chip or fall, yet instead of sadness, you feel tenderness, appreciation. This is how the master lived each day, aware of life's fragility, yet filled with gratitude. Take a soft breath. Consider how your moments today passed quickly, how some slipped by unnoticed. You might feel a gentle ache there, but also a sweetness. Imagine now a small kitchen late at night. Only one light glowing above the sink. The cup rests on the counter, perfect in its impermanence. Let that image help you loosen your grip on the day. Let the passing of time feel gentle, not sharp. Let your breath slow like a quiet nighttime house settling into stillness. Hello. I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Take a breath. Feel your fingers soften, and imagine letting the rope slip quietly into the water. As it drifts away, feel your body lighten. Feel the night deepen. Feel rest approach. The river is gentle now, and you are free to drift towards sleep. Story 9. The Horse Story. By Joyce Lesson. A farmer's horse bolted one day, running off into the hills. When neighbors came offering pity, he simply said, "Who knows what this will bring?" Days later, the horse returned with a wild companion. The neighbors offered congratulations. The farmer said the same words. Soon, his son broke his leg, riding the new horse. Then soldiers came recruiting young men, and his son was spared. Life moved like weather, shifting from sun to storm to sun again. Imagine yourself watching these changes from the porch of a quiet country home. Some days bright, some heavy, some uncertain, but you sit there breathing, knowing the sky will change again. Take a slow breath. Let uncertainty soften. Let the wind blow through your thoughts like tall grass, and drift gently toward the kind of sleep that doesn't need answers. Story 10. The Moon Cannot Be Stolen. A thief once crept into a Zen master's hut on a cold night, but the hut was empty, no furniture, no valuables, only a thin blanket folded neatly. The master returned, saw the thief, and said warmly, "You came such a long way. You should not leave empty-handed." He handed him the blanket. When the thief ran off, embarrassed, the master stepped outside, gazing at the full moon hanging like a lantern in the sky. "If only I could give him this," he whispered. It is the one treasure no one can steal. Imagine standing there in the cool night. Moonlight resting gently on your skin. The world quiet. You feel the spaciousness of having nothing to lose, nothing to protect. Peace expands inside you like that wide silver sky. Take a slow breath and imagine the moonlight filling your chest, spreading softness, quiet, warmth. Let the night hold you, the way the Master held compassion. Let your thoughts thin like clouds drifting past the moon. Let sleep arrive the way moonlight does, quietly, gently, without effort. And let yourself rest, deeply. Story 11. On a cool evening long ago, in a small mountain temple where lantern light flickered like warm fireflies, a young monk approached his teacher, with worry pressing against his chest. He felt overwhelmed by all the mistakes he had made that day, forgetting a chore, speaking too quickly, losing his patience with another novice. His heart felt tight, like a knot pulled too fast. The teacher, an elderly man with gentle eyes and hands that moved as slowly as drifting clouds, said nothing. Instead, he offered the monk a small clay cup. It was already cracked along the rim. "Do you see this?" he asked softly. The monk nodded. "One day, this cup will break." The young monk frowned, unsure of the meaning. The teacher smiled kindly. "I drink from this cup every morning. I admire the way the light shines through it. I treat it with care, but in my mind, it is already broken. So when it finally falls, or chips, or crumbles, my heart remains at peace." The monk sat quietly with that thought. The teacher went on. "Everything you worry about, your mistakes, your temper, your restlessness, treat them like this cup, already broken, already forgiven, already part of the impermanent world." The young monk felt something soften inside him, as though a hand had gently loosened the knot in his chest. He realized that most of his suffering came from clinging to perfection, to control, to an image of who he thought he should be. Consider this as you listen. How often do you hold yourself to impossible standards? How often do you replay a small mistake from hours or even years ago? Perhaps you feel that same tightness in the chest, the same knot that refuses to loosen. Imagine now that you are holding a simple clay cup, warm, fragile, beautiful in its imperfection. Picture yourself accepting that someday it will break. Now imagine doing the same with the small burdens of your day, the harsh words you regret, the rushed decisions, the moments you wished you could redo. Already broken, already forgiven. You might notice your shoulders easing. You might notice your breath becoming softer. Take a slow inhale and let it fall out gently. As you settle deeper into this moment, picture yourself sitting beside the old teacher in that quiet mountain temple. Lantern light flickers around you. Story 12. A long time ago, a small group of monks traveled across a wide plain where the wind whispered through tall grass. One young monk walked faster than the rest, impatience pushing him forward like a restless wind. He was always in a hurry, hurrying to finish his work, hurrying to understand the teachings, hurrying to become wise. His teacher, an old monk with a voice as soft as worn cotton, noticed the boy's constant rushing. One afternoon, as they rested beneath the shade of a lone tree, the teacher picked up a stone from the ground. It was smooth, shaped by years of wind and rain. "Tell me," the teacher said, "if you throw this stone into the river, will the river reach the ocean any faster?" The young monk shook his head. "Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together." Maybe you've had days when it seemed like everyone else was moving faster, achieving more, understanding more, handling life more gracefully. But take a moment, breathe in slowly, breathe out gently, and notice that your own river has never stopped moving, even when you felt stuck, even when the current seemed slow. You were moving all along. Imagine a river now, wide and shimmering in the afternoon sun. Picture the water flowing with ease, not forcing itself forward, simply finding its way, moment by moment. Let that image mirror your own life, your own pace, your own quiet unfolding. Notice how your breath begins to follow that gentle rhythm. In, easy, and unhurried. Out, soft as a whisper. As your body loosens and your mind sinks deeper into stillness, allow yourself to release the weight of rushing. Let go of deadlines, expectations, and imagined pressures. There is nowhere else you need to be. No quicker pace required of you. Just this breath. Just this moment. Just this slow, steady river of your own existence, carrying you naturally toward rest. Let your breath slow further, like the widening of a calm river, until sleep begins to rise around you, soft and inevitable, like evening settling across water. Drift with it now. Let the river take you. Story 13. Once, a wise Zen master lived in a tiny hut at the edge of a quiet forest. The hut was simple. One room, one door, one window. Everything the master needed fit easily into that small space. But his mind, his students believed, held a vastness that felt larger than the sky. One day, a visitor traveled from far away to seek the master's wisdom. This visitor was a scholar, respected for his knowledge and his sharp mind. He had read countless books on Zen, filled notebooks with theories, and prided himself on his understanding. But still, he felt restless, unsatisfied, and endlessly troubled. When he arrived, he bowed quickly and said, "Master, I have studied Zen for many years, yet I cannot find peace. Please, teach me." The master nodded and offered tea. As the master poured, the visitor talked about his studies, his interpretations, his debates, his accomplishments. He spoke with great enthusiasm, barely stopping to breathe. Meanwhile, the master kept pouring. The cup filled, then reached the brim, then overflowed. Tea spilled onto the table, onto the floor, dripping steadily like a tiny waterfall. The scholar jumped up. "Stop!" he cried. "The cup is full. It can't hold any more." The master set the pot down gently. "Like this cup," he said softly, "your mind is full. How can I teach you anything if you do not first empty it?" The visitor froze, realizing the truth he had overlooked for years. His mind had been so crowded with opinions, beliefs, expectations, and self-confidence that he had no room left for wonder, no space for stillness, no openness for peace. You may know this feeling too, the sense of being mentally crowded, weighed down by plans, worries, fears, schedules, news, information, and all the noise of modern life. The mind fills up easily. It overflows even more easily. Consider now how it might feel to empty your own cup just a little. Take a slow breath. Let it fall out softly, and imagine setting down everything you don't need tonight. The unfinished tasks, the lingering conversations, the to-do lists, the regrets, the noise of the day. Imagine each exhale creating just a little more space inside you, like clearing a small corner of a room or letting light into a window long covered with dust. With each breath, your inner cup becomes lighter, quieter, emptier, ready to be filled with calm. Now picture yourself in that humble hut, sitting across from the gentle master. There is nothing you must know, nothing you must solve. You can simply breathe and rest and let your mind soften. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let your eyes grow heavy. Allow yourself to empty, to release, to slow, to drift. Sleep comes most easily when the cup is no longer overflowing. Let peace pour in like warm tea, soothing and steady, filling the space you have made. Let it carry you into rest now. Story 14 inches. A small village near the mountains lived a farmer, known for his calm nature. People often came to him when their lives felt chaotic or heavy. They believed he carried a kind of quiet wisdom not from books or temples, but from simply watching the seasons change, year after year. One day, the farmer's horse ran away. His neighbors rushed to him, saying, "What terrible luck!" The farmer shrugged gently. Maybe so, maybe not. A week later, the horse returned and brought back 2 wild horses with him. The neighbors exclaimed, "What wonderful luck!" Again the farmer smiled. Maybe so, maybe not. A few days later, the farmer's son tried to ride one of the wild horses. He fell and broke his leg. The neighbors shook their heads. "What bad luck!" the farmer repeated. Maybe so, maybe not. Soon after, soldiers came to the village, taking every able-bodied young man to war. The farmer's son was spared because of his injury. The neighbors whispered, "What good luck!" And the farmer simply said, "Maybe so, maybe not." The villagers never quite understood his calm, but they felt it whenever they spoke with him. The farmer lived with a softness toward life, trusting its unfolding, even when he couldn't see the meaning right away. Consider this. How often do we judge events too quickly? A mistake feels like disaster. A delay feels like failure. A sudden change feels like loss. And yet, how many times has something unexpected later revealed itself as a blessing, a turning point, a quiet gift? Take a moment now, breathe gently, and release the urge to label your day good or bad, success or failure, lucky or unlucky. Let yourself rest in the maybe. Let life soften around the edges. Imagine standing in that little mountain village at dusk. The air cools. The sky dims to a soft blue. You hear distant wind chimes, a dog barking far away, the gentle hum of evening settling in. Feel how the uncertainty of life becomes less frightening in this quiet place, less sharp, more spacious. Let your breath deepen, slow and steady, like clouds drifting across a wide sky. Whatever happened today, it doesn't need a label right now. It doesn't need a story. It doesn't need judgment. It only needs space. Let that space open inside you, gentle as moonlight spreading over the fields, easing you toward rest, easing you toward sleep. Let yourself drift with the maybe, into calm, into softness, into peace. Story 15. A long time ago, 2 monks were walking along a muddy road after heavy rain. The younger monk carried his vows with strict devotion. He was serious, disciplined, determined to follow every rule without exception. As they walked, they saw a young woman standing beside a deep puddle. She looked worried, afraid to step through the mud in her silk robes. Without hesitation, the older monk lifted her into his arms, carried her across the puddle, and set her gently on the other side. She thanked him with a grateful bow and continued on her way. Hours passed. The younger monk grew increasingly agitated. His breath tightened. His steps quickened. Finally, unable to contain himself, he burst out, "Master, we monks are not supposed to touch women. Why did you carry her?" The older monk smiled softly. "I set her down hours ago," he said. "But you are still carrying her." The younger monk stopped walking. He felt his chest lighten as the meaning settled inside him. So much of our suffering comes not from what happens, but from what we continue to carry long after the moment has passed. Perhaps you know this feeling too. Holding on to a conversation you wish you could fix, replaying someone's words, carrying a mistake on your back, letting irritation follow you from room to room, from 1 hour into the first, next. But tonight, as you listen here, you can set it all down. Take a slow breath and let your shoulders sink. Imagine placing whatever you've been carrying onto the soft earth beside you. Picture it leaving your hands, leaving your body, leaving your mind. You might notice the air around you growing gentler. You might notice the tension inside you softening. Imagine the road ahead becoming clearer, cleaner, easier, because you are no longer weighed down. With each breath, let something drop away: a worry, a regret, a small hurt, a piece of anger. Let them fall like pebbles from your pocket. Now imagine the two monks walking ahead into the evening light. Peaceful, unburdened. Picture yourself walking with them, light-footed, quiet-hearted, free. Let that feeling settle into your body. Let your breath deepen, slow and rhythmic, guiding you towards sleep. You can rest now. You have set it down. Story 16. One evening, a wandering monk arrived at a small lakeside village. Just as the sun was dipping behind the hills, the water shimmered with soft gold, and the air held the quiet warmth of late summer. Children laughed in the distance, their voices fading as night approached. The monk carried nothing but a bowl, a robe, and a gentle smile, though he owned very little. People always said he carried peace with him like a lantern that never went out. At the edge of the village, he saw a fisherman sitting alone, staring at his net with frustration. The net was tangled badly, and the man's shoulders sagged with exhaustion. The monk approached and asked, "May I sit with you?" The fisherman nodded weakly. After a long silence, the monk said softly, "You seem troubled. My net is ruined." The fisherman replied, "I've been fighting with it all day." The monk looked at the twisting loops of rope. "Would you like some help untangling?" The fisherman sighed. "It's too much. I don't know where to begin." The monk nodded knowingly. When a knot is tight, pulling harder only tightens it more. He took the net gently, loosening a single knot with slow, patient fingers, then another, then another. The fisherman watched with surprise. "You make it look easy." "It is not easy," the monk replied. "It is only gentle, and gentle things often go farther than force." As the knots loosened, the fisherman felt his own breath loosening with them. He felt the weight in his chest ease. Think of the tangled nets in your own life, the worries, the tasks undone, the relationships strained, the thoughts that loop back again and again. Sometimes you may pull too hard at them, tugging with frustration, tightening the knots. But tonight, you can be gentle. Take a slow inhale and let your exhale be soft. Imagine holding your own tangled net, your day, your thoughts, your stress, and smoothing it with patient hands, knot by knot, breath by breath. You might feel the tension unraveling inside you, the way the fisherman watched his net slowly open again. Picture the lake now, quiet beneath the night sky, stars forming tiny ripples on its surface, the monk and fisherman sitting side by side, breathing with the rhythm of the water. Let yourself breathe with that rhythm, slow, like the widening rings of moonlight, soft, like cool water brushing the shore, unhurried, like a net being untangled in patient hands. Let the knots of the day loosen inside you, one by one, until your mind opens gently, peacefully, into the wide, calming quiet of night. You can rest here. Let the stillness carry you. Story 17. Long ago, in a monastery nestled among tall cedar trees, a young monk practiced the lute each evening. He was determined to master the instrument, hoping the discipline would deepen his wisdom. But he struggled. When he tightened the strings too much, they snapped. When he loosened them too far, the sound was muddy and dull. Frustrated, he brought the lute to his teacher. The teacher plucked one string. "Do you see?" he asked. "If a string is too tight, it breaks. If it is too loose, it cannot sing. Wisdom is like this. The middle path is where harmony lives." The young monk nodded, but inside he still wrestled with the lesson. He wanted progress. He wanted perfection. He wanted to push harder. That night, he sat alone beneath the stars, the lute resting on his lap. He plucked the strings gently, listening. Slowly, he softened. He found the balance point, not too tight, not too loose, where the music felt natural, effortless, alive. Perhaps you know this struggle too, being pulled between extremes, working too hard until you burn out, resting too little until your mind frays, expecting too much or giving too little. Maybe you carry tension like a string pulled too tightly, or feel unmotivated, like a string too slack. Take a moment, breathe slowly, and feel for your own middle path. Not perfect, not extreme, just balanced enough for your life to hum gently. Imagine adjusting your inner strings with each breath, tightening only where you need strength, loosening where you need rest. Inhale, gentle firmness. Exhale, soft release. Let that rhythm settle deeper in your body. Now picture yourself sitting beneath those cedar trees, the night air cool on your skin, the stars shimmering softly overhead. Imagine the lute in your hands, its strings glowing faintly in the moonlight. Feel the harmony of finding the middle path, how natural, how calming, how freeing it is. Let your breath align with that harmony. Allow yourself to settle into that balance as sleep draws near, neither holding too tightly nor letting go too abruptly. Just drifting, just easing, just softening into the gentle music of rest. Let the night carry you. Story 18. There was once a Zen master known for his quiet smile. People traveled from far and wide to ask him questions, serious questions about life, suffering, purpose, and peace. One day, a man arrived carrying a heavy bag slung over his shoulder. His posture slumped under its weight. His eyes looked tired, worried, restless. He bowed and said, "Master, I need help. My burdens feel endless." The master motioned for him to sit by a small pond. The water was still, reflecting the sky so clearly that it looked like a window into another world. "What is in the bag?" the master asked gently. "Everything I worry about," the man replied. "My past mistakes, My fears about the future, my responsibilities, the people depending on me, everything. The master nodded. Put it down. The man blinked. But master, I just told you. Put it down, the master repeated, his voice soft as a whisper. The man hesitated, then slowly lowered the bag to the ground. His shoulders immediately lifted. He took a deep breath, surprised at how light he felt. After a long silence, the master said, "Now, pick it up again." The man frowned, but did as he was told. The weight dragged him down once more. The master smiled. Life will give you many things to carry, but suffering comes when you refuse to put them down even for a moment. You forget that rest is allowed. The man felt tears rise, realizing how long he had carried his burdens without pause, not because he had to, but because he didn't know how to set them aside. You might feel something similar, the weight of expectations, the pressure of responsibilities, the heaviness of the day. Maybe you've been carrying your own bag long after you needed a break, but tonight you can set it down. Take a slow breath, let it ease out gently, and imagine lowering a heavy bag from your shoulder. Feel the relief spreading through your body, your neck loosening, your back softening, your chest opening. You don't have to abandon your responsibilities. You just don't need to hold them right now. This moment is for rest. Picture yourself sitting by that quiet pond with the master beside you. The surface of the water is still. The evening air is cool and soothing. There is nothing you must solve, nothing you must carry. Just your breath, slow and peaceful. Let the weight fall away. Let your shoulders sink into softness. Let your mind settle like calm water. And as sleep gathers around you, imagine the master's gentle voice saying, "Rest is the place where strength is born. Let yourself rest now." Story 19 inches, a forest where tall pine trees whispered in the wind. A wandering monk met a man who lived alone in a small wooden cabin. The man had once been a successful merchant, but years of worry had worn him down until he sought solitude in nature. Yet even in the quiet woods, his mind remained busy. He paced constantly. He fretted over small things. He clung to old fears and past regrets, like someone gripping a rope too tightly. The monk watched him for a while, then approached. "Why do you hold the rope so hard?" the monk asked. "What rope?" the man replied, confused. The monk smiled softly. "The rope in your mind. The one you pull whenever you're afraid. The one you cling to when you don't trust yourself." The man looked down at his hands instinctively, as though expecting to see something there. The monk continued, "When you pull a rope tied to nothing, all you do is burn your hands." The man felt a quiet shiver of recognition. His anxiety, his clinging, his constant tension, all of it was a rope he pulled even though it led nowhere. The monk reached out and gently opened the man's fingers, one by one. "Let go," he whispered. "You might know this feeling, gripping tightly to thoughts, fears, responsibilities, or old stories about who you think you must be. Holding on because letting go feels unfamiliar, risky, or impossible. But right now, in this moment, you can loosen your grip. Take a slow inhale. And with your exhale, imagine your fingers softening. Let the rope slip away. Feel the release in your hands, your arms, your chest. Picture yourself in that cabin, the fire glowing softly, casting warm light against wooden walls. Outside, the pine trees sway gently, their branches brushing against the night air. The world feels safe, quiet, spacious. You can let go here. Let your breath become easy, like the rise and fall of a gentle breeze through the pines. Let tension melt from your shoulders. Let your jaw unclench. Let your thoughts slow. With each breath, you release a little more of the rope, the worry, the holding, the gripping. You may notice your body softening, ready for rest. The monk sits beside you, silent and calm. The fire crackles softly, and you finally let your hands open completely. Let yourself drift into the stillness. Let sleep take the rope from your hands. Story 20 inches, a quiet monastery beside the sea. An old Zen master walked the shoreline every morning with his students. The ocean stretched endlessly before them, waves rising and falling, with a rhythm older than memory. One morning, a student approached the master with tears in his eyes. "Master," he said softly, "my heart feels broken. I don't know how to mend it." The master bent down, picked up a small seashell, and handed it to the student. It was cracked, worn smooth by years of waves. "Hold this," the master said. The student turned it over in his hand. "It's broken," he whispered. The master smiled. "Yes, and because it is broken, the ocean could shape it into something beautiful." The student looked out at the waves, listening to their steady breathing. "But I feel weak," he said. "Fragile, uncertain." The master nodded. "When the tide pulls back, the shore is exposed. When it returns, it fills every empty space. Your heart is no different. What feels empty will fill again. What feels broken will smooth into wisdom." The student felt a warmth spread through him, as though the ocean itself had reached into his chest. Consider your own heart now. The places that feel cracked or worn, the soft spots, shaped by time, loss, or stress. These are not signs of failure. They are proof that you have lived, loved, tried, and endured. Take a slow breath and imagine the ocean, its waves rising gently, washing over the shoreline of your mind. With each inhale, the water moves forward, cool, calming, soothing. With each exhale, the tide retreats, carrying away worry, doubt, and heaviness. Let the waves guide your breath. Feel the rhythm settling deeper into your body, steady, peaceful, ancient. Picture yourself standing beside the old master, the ocean stretching endlessly before you. The sky holds the last soft colors of dusk. The air tastes like salt and quiet hope. In your hand, you hold the seashell, cracked, yes, but beautiful. Smoothed by time, perfect in its imperfection. Let your heart feel like that shell, softer with each wave, gentler with each breath, healed in ways that don't require effort, only allowing. As night deepens, let the sound of the waves echo inside you, slow, steady, like a lullaby from the earth itself. Let yourself drift now, floating on the tide of your own breath, carried gently towards sleep. You are safe. You are healing. You can rest. Let sleep come like the returning tide, filling every empty space with peace. Story 21 inches. A village surrounded by rolling hills and quiet fields. There lived a potter known for creating bowls so smooth and balanced that they seemed to hum with a gentle calm. People believed his bowls carried peace within them. One evening, a young traveler visited the potter's workshop. He watched the old man shape clay on his wheel, his hands steady, his breath slow. "Master," the traveler said, "your bowls are perfect. How do you do it?" The potter chuckled softly. "Perfect? No. Each bowl holds a mistake or two. A dent here, a curve there." The traveler frowned. "But they look flawless." The potter lifted a freshly shaped bowl and showed him a tiny, uneven line along the rim. Imperfection, he said, is where the soul enters. The traveler felt the truth in those words. He realized how often he chased perfection in his work, in himself, in the way he wished life would unfold, and how exhausting that chase had become. Think of the bowls in your own life, the tasks unfinished, the moments imperfect, the mistakes you wish you could smooth away. Tonight, you do not need to be flawless. Take a slow breath, feel your chest soften, and let yourself be beautifully imperfect. Now imagine the potter's workshop in the dim evening light. The wheel spins slowly. Clay takes shape under gentle, patient hands. A soft wind brushes through the open window. Everything is quiet. Everything is enough. Let yourself breathe with that steady rhythm. Slow, smooth, unhurried. Feel your body soften, like clay shaped with kindness. Let imperfection become peace. Let peace lead you into sleep. Story 22. High in the mountains, a monk lived in a small wooden hut perched beside a stream. Every morning, he filled a bucket with water and carried it back to his hut for the day. One winter, he noticed his bucket had developed a small crack. By the time he reached the hut, half the water had leaked out. Frustrated, he muttered, "This bucket is useless." But the next morning, as he carried the bucket along the footpath, he saw something he had never noticed. Small flowers blooming along one side of the trail, the side where the water dripped. A soft smile touched his lips. "Ah, so that is where you've been carrying your purpose," he whispered. "Sometimes things and people are quietly useful in ways we don't see. Perhaps you feel worn out, cracked, imperfect. But even through those cracks, something gentle may be growing: resilience, compassion, depth." Take a slow breath and imagine those small mountain flowers, delicate, glowing in the morning light, growing because of the water that leaked from the cracked bucket. You do not need to be whole to be worthy. Tonight, let that truth settle into your heart, like soft snow covering the mountains. Let the stream's calm murmur steady your breath. Let your cracks soften, not disappear, just soften. Rest now. Story 23. A wandering monk once visited a village where many people complained about their troubles. Each person wanted relief, but none wished to change their habits or thoughts. The monk listened patiently, then placed a small pebble in each person's hand. "This pebble is your worry," he said. "Squeeze it tightly." They obeyed. Some squeezed hard until their hands trembled. "Hello. I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Why does it wander even when my body is still?" The teacher handed him a clear glass jar filled with cloudy water. "Set it down," the teacher said. The young monk placed the jar on the table. "Now wait." Minutes passed. Slowly, the sediment in the water began to sink. The cloudiness cleared. The water grew still. The teacher pointed. "Your mind is like this. It only becomes clear when you stop shaking it. You may feel tonight that your mind is cloudy, full of thoughts swirling like stirred up water. You don't need to force them still. You only need to stop shaking the jar. Take a slow breath. Let it fall out gently. And imagine setting your jar down. Let the thoughts settle on their own. Let the water clear. Let the stillness return. Now, feel your body becoming heavier, quieter, softer, like clear water at the bottom of the jar. Let yourself drift into calm. Story 25. An old Zen gardener tended a vast garden filled with trees, stones, and winding paths. His movements were slow and deliberate. To others, it seemed he was not working, only flowing. One day, a visitor asked, "How do you stay so peaceful while maintaining such a large garden?" The gardener paused, leaning on his rake. "I tend only the area where my feet stand." The visitor blinked. "But the whole garden?" The gardener smiled gently. "One step at a time, one leaf at a time, one breath at a time." Perhaps your day felt overwhelming, too many tasks, too many decisions, too much noise. But right now, you only need to tend the small garden of this moment. Take a slow inhale, feel the ground beneath you, and let your breath become your single, simple task. Picture the garden at dusk, shadows long, fireflies drifting, the gardener's lantern glowing softly. The air is cool, the earth smells rich, and everything feels manageable. You are only here, only this moment, only this breath. Let the rest fade, like distant trees disappearing into night. Let your breath lead you gently into sleep. Story 26 inches. A quiet monastery. A novice monk struggled with meditation. "My thoughts keep pulling me away," he complained. "I feel like a leaf blown by the wind." The master nodded and took him to a nearby bamboo grove. "Listen," the master said. The wind rushed through the bamboo. The stalks swayed and whispered. Leaves rustled like soft rain. "Do you expect the bamboo to stay still when the wind blows?" the master asked. The novice shook his head. "Then why expect your mind to stay still when life blows through it?" The monk blinked, suddenly understanding. The wind does not ruin the bamboo. Movement is natural. Perhaps your thoughts feel windy tonight, swirling, shifting, refusing stillness. That is okay. Let them sway, like bamboo, shifting in the breeze. Take a slow breath, listen inwardly, and allow your mind its natural movement. You don't need to stop the wind. You only need to bend gently with it. Imagine the bamboo grove under the moonlight, leaves shimmering, air cool and soothing. The wind softens. The grove becomes still. Your mind will too. Let the breeze guide you towards sleep. Story 27. A master and his student walked through a forest on a warm, fragrant evening. Fireflies dotted the air like drifting stars. The student said, "Master, how can I stop worrying about tomorrow?" The master picked up a firefly in his palm. Its tiny glow pulsed softly. "Do you see this light?" the master asked. "It shines only for this moment. It does not worry whether it will shine tomorrow or fade the next night. It simply glows now." The student felt something loosen inside him. A gentle release. Think of the glow inside you, your breath, your awareness, your presence in this moment. Worry pulls you out of the now, but your body, your breath, your tired heart, they are here. Take a slow inhale, and as you exhale, imagine your inner light glowing softly, like a firefly in cupped hands. Warm, quiet, flickering, gently. The forest darkens, the sky expands overhead, and the fireflies drift like floating embers. Let your breath glow. Let tomorrow wait. Let sleep gently close your eyes. Story 28. A monk visited a fisherman who lived in a small hut by the shore. The fisherman apologized for the mess inside, nets piled in corners, ropes tangled, baskets overflowing. "I'm sorry, master," he said. "My home is too small." The monk looked around, then smiled. "Your home is not too small. You are simply holding too much." The fisherman paused, realizing the truth. You may feel crowded too, not in your home, but in your mind. Thoughts, worries, plans, memories, they clutter your inner space. But tonight, you can clear a corner. Tonight, take a slow breath. Imagine sweeping away a pile of tangled thoughts, clearing space in the quiet room of your mind. Picture the fisherman's hut now, lantern light warm on the walls, nets neatly folded, the sound of waves brushing the shore. The room feels bigger, calmer, lighter. Let your mind become that hut. Spacious, quiet, open to rest. Let the room inside you grow peaceful. Let yourself sleep. Story 29. A traveling monk once encountered a boy trying to carry an enormous bundle of firewood on his back. The load was far too heavy. The boy stumbled under its weight. The monk approached and asked, "Why carry so much at once?" The boy panted, "I want to finish quickly." The monk gently removed half the bundle. Sometimes you go farther by carrying less. The boy looked at the smaller bundle and sighed with relief. Perhaps you've been carrying too much emotionally, mentally, physically. Maybe you have pushed yourself to finish quickly, to be strong, to endure more than you should. But tonight, you can carry less. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders drop and imagine someone gently removing half of your burden. Now picture the forest path, soft earth beneath your feet, moonlight filtering between branches, the monk and boy walking lightly with smaller loads. Feel the relief in your body. Feel the ease returning. Let that ease lead you toward rest. Story 30. An elder monk lived beside a serene lotus pond. Every morning, he watched the lotus flowers open with the sunrise and close gently with the night. One evening, a young monk asked, "Master, why do the lotus flowers close? Are they afraid of the dark?" The elder smiled. "No, they close because rest is part of their nature. Even beauty must pause. Even light must sleep." The young monk sat quietly, watching a lotus fold its petals slowly as dusk deepened. Consider this truth now. Everything in nature rests. Trees rest. Rivers rest. Even the moon rests behind clouds. You, too, are allowed to rest. Take a slow inhale. Feel the softness of night surrounding you. And imagine a lotus closing gently over your heart, protecting it, comforting it, letting it soften into darkness. Picture the pond under starlight ripples still, petals closed, air cool and calm. The elder monk sits beside you, hands folded peacefully, his breath steady and slow. Let your breath match his. Let the petals close. Let sleep bloom quietly within you. Story 31. There is an old Zen tale, often shared in temples from Japan to small retreat centers tucked into the mountains of California. It tells of a young monk who lived in a quiet monastery beside a river. Every morning he woke before dawn, walked to the riverbank, and sat beneath a willow tree whose branches hung low enough to brush the surface of the water. He believed that if he sat there long enough, if he breathed slowly enough, he would finally become calm, finally become wise, finally become the person he thought he was supposed to be. One morning, after many months of trying so hard to become peaceful, he noticed that the river was especially muddy. He frowned at it, frustrated, and thought, "How can I find clarity when even the river cannot?" An older monk, gentle in his step and soft in his expression, approached and sat beside him. For a while they said nothing. The sky was pale with early light, and the first birds were just beginning to stir. Finally, the elder monk picked up a small stone and dropped it into the river. The muddy water rippled outward, Why did you do that? The younger monk asked. To show you something. The elder replied, when the water is disturbed, it does not try to fix itself. It simply waits. And slowly, on its own, it becomes clear again. The younger monk watched in silence as the ripples softened, and the muddy water began settling, tiny particles drifting downward, the river gradually returning to stillness. The old monk continued, you keep stirring the mind by trying so hard to make it clear. Just sit. Just breathe. Let the mud settle by itself. As the young monk listened, something inside him loosened, like a tight rope. Untying, he realized how much of his restlessness came not from the world, but from his own exhausting effort to be different than he was. Maybe you've had days like that. Evenings when you're lying in bed with your mind swirling like muddy water. Old worries rising, new concerns forming. Your thoughts trying to solve problems that are not meant to be solved. Tonight, consider what the river teaches. Clarity returns when we stop stirring the water. Take a slow breath. Just that. A gentle inhale, like you're letting fresh evening air into a quiet room, and then exhale softly, letting a little weight drift out of your body. You might imagine yourself sitting by that same river, willow branches swaying, the sound of water moving gently over smooth stones, a soft breeze brushing your cheeks. Let your thoughts be the mud. Let the breath be the settling. Inhale, ease, exhale. Notice how the body knows how to rest when you no longer push it to be different. Feel the mind lay down its stones, one by one, sinking to the riverbed, leaving the surface clear enough to reflect the moon. And when you're ready, allow yourself to drift into the quiet that follows, the deep, still rest that comes when nothing needs to be fixed, nothing needs to be solved, nothing needs to be stirred, just the settling and the ease that comes with it. Story 32. There is a familiar Buddhist story told in many American meditation circles, a story about a farmer who carried a heavy burden, not on his back, but in his mind. He lived in a small village, surrounded by fields of tall grass that rustled like whispers whenever the breeze passed through. Each morning he walked the same dirt path, complaining about the same things: the weather, the harvest, his neighbors, even his own family. Anyone who listened, and many politely tried not to, would quickly hear how unhappy he was with almost everything. One day, word spread that a well-known teacher had arrived in town. People gathered under a large oak tree, where the teacher sat on a wooden bench, as calm as a lake at dawn. The farmer joined the crowd, hoping perhaps for a solution to all his troubles. When it was his turn, he stepped forward and poured out a long list of complaints. His crops were failing. His wife didn't understand him. His children were too noisy. His back always ached, and even the village dog barked too loudly at night. When he finally finished, breathing hard from the effort of explaining just how difficult his life was, the teacher smiled gently and said, "I cannot help you." The farmer's eyes widened. "What do you mean? You're a great teacher. You must help me." The teacher shook his head. "Everyone has problems. Some are big, some are small. You have 83 problems, and no matter what I or anyone else does, you will still have them." The farmer felt his frustration rise. "Then what's the point of coming to you?" The teacher continued softly. "I can help you with your 84th problem." The farmer frowned. "What is the 84th problem?" The teacher replied, "You think you should not have problems. The crowd fell quiet. The farmer stood still, confused at first. Then something inside him shifted. He realized he had been fighting the very nature of life itself, expecting it to bend to his wishes, demanding it be free of obstacles or discomfort. Maybe you've had moments like that. Evenings when you're lying in bed, replaying the things that didn't go as planned, wishing tomorrow could be a little easier, a little smoother, a little more certain. Consider this. There is nothing wrong with the presence of challenges. It's the resistance, the belief that problems shouldn't exist, that makes the mind feel so tired. Take a slow, deep breath, like you're finally letting yourself stop pushing against life. Then exhale, imagining the weight sliding off your shoulders. Let yourself feel the softness that comes from not needing everything to be perfect tonight. You might picture yourself beneath that oak tree, the warm evening light drifting through the leaves, the teacher's calm voice echoing gently in your memory, reminding you that you don't need to fix every problem before you can rest. Let the breath warm you from within, a gentle reassurance that you are allowed to let the day be exactly as it was. Inhale, acceptance. Exhale, release. And as your body settles a little deeper, feel the mind loosen its grip. Feel your chest grow lighter. Feel the quiet spread like dusk across a peaceful field. Allow yourself the comfort of knowing that rest is possible, even with imperfect days, especially with imperfect days. Let the breath guide you towards sleep. Slow, soft, steady, like the fading echo of the wind moving through fields of tall grass at night. Story 33. There is a gentle old Zen story told by monks in training halls and by modern teachers in small American sanghas. It's the story of a young student who wanted to understand why the mind feels so wild, so restless even when life seems calm on the surface. He approached his teacher, a woman known for her quiet presence and eyes that seemed to see straight into a person's heart. She was sweeping the wooden porch of the meditation hall, the broom gliding over fallen pine needles. "Teacher," he said, "why does my mind feel like a horse that has never been trained? Every time I try to sit still, it runs away." She leaned the broom against the railing and motioned for him to follow her. Together they walked down a gravel path toward a nearby stable where a neighbor kept a few horses. A large brown horse stood in the corral, tossing its head, pawing at the ground, snorting as if impatient to be free. The teacher said, "This is your mind." The student watched as the horse ran in circles, kicking up dust in the warm afternoon light. It didn't matter that nothing was chasing it, it raced as if fleeing danger. "Why does it behave like this?" the student asked. She replied, "Because it has been left alone with itself. A horse that has never been guided will run toward anything fear, excitement, memory, noise. The mind is the same. It isn't wrong. It is simply untrained." Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. And it can also learn to rest. Take a slow breath, feeling the lungs expand like a calm invitation. Then, exhale, letting the shoulders drop, letting the jaw loosen, letting the mind feel your presence. Inhale gently, as if guiding a skittish horse closer. Exhale softly, letting it feel the steadiness in you. You might imagine standing in that quiet corral, warm evening air, brushing your skin, the scent of hay and earth around you, the soft sound of breathing from a horse finally settling. Let your thoughts slow, not by force, but by companionship. Let the breath become a rhythm the mind can follow. Steady, patient, kind. With each inhale, whisper to yourself, stay with me. With each exhale, it's all right to rest. Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. The setting sun cast warm, golden light across the wooden floor. On a small table beside the window sat a cup, plain, ceramic, nothing special to the eye. The monk picked it up, held it gently, almost lovingly, and said, "To me, this cup is already broken." The student stared, confused. "But it isn't broken. It's perfectly fine." The old monk smiled. "For now, yes. But one day, this cup will slip from my hand, or fall from the shelf, or simply crack from age. That is its nature. Knowing this, I can fully appreciate it now. Every sip, every moment, I hold it with care because I know its time is limited." The student sat quietly, turning the words over in his mind. The monk continued softly, "When we understand something is already broken, we cherish it more and cling to it less." Maybe you felt something like this, holding tightly to something in your life. A plan, a job, a relationship, a certain image of who you should be, fearing what might happen if it changes, or ends, or slips from your hands. But consider what the old monk understood. Everything is temporary, and that is what makes each moment precious. Not fragile, but precious. Not sad, but real. Take a slow breath, letting the truth settle gently inside you. And as you exhale, loosen your hold on whatever you've been gripping too tightly. Imagine that cup in the evening light. Warm, simple, beautiful, because of its impermanence, not in spite of it. Let yourself soften into this truth, the way twilight softens into night. Inhale, presence. Exhale, release. You might picture yourself holding a cup of warm tea on a quiet evening. The room dim, the air calm, a small lamp glowing beside you. Feel the warmth through your hands, the scent rising, the quiet settling. Nothing needs to last forever. Nothing ever does. But right now, this breath, this moment, this gentle settling of the body, all of it is here for you. Let yourself lean into the safety of that. Let the shoulders drop. Let the mind unclench. Let the heart open enough to rest. As the breath slows, imagine setting the cup down gently on the table, watching the steam drift upward, watching the moment soften, fade, dissolve, like the last light of day. Inhale, a little lighter. Exhale, a little freer. Let the awareness of impermanence become a doorway into rest, where nothing must be held, nothing must be controlled, nothing must be protected. Just being here, just being. Let sleep come when it wishes, soft and natural, like night, settling over a peaceful home. Story 35. There is an old Zen parable told in monasteries and mindfulness retreats about a swordsman who sought wisdom rather than victory. One morning he visited an aging master who lived in a small hut near the edge of a quiet forest. The swordsman bowed deeply. "Master, I want to learn how to control my anger. It rises so quickly, like a spark catching dry leaves. It burns before I even realize what I have done." The master nodded gently and asked, "Where is this anger right now?" The swordsman blinked. "Well, it isn't here. Hello. I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Perhaps this feels familiar, those moments when irritation rises quickly. A small frustration at work, a comment from someone you love, a memory that stings a little more sharply than it should. You may feel the spark, the heat, the urge to react. But consider this: if anger is born inside you, then so is the power to calm it. Take a slow, deep breath, feeling it move gently through your chest, as if smoothing the surface of a pond disturbed by wind. And exhale slowly, letting the warmth settle. Imagine standing in that quiet forest clearing, the scent of pine, the rustle of leaves, the old master's calm presence beside you. Feel the tension loosen, feel the fire cool. Inhale, space. Exhale, softness. You might place a hand on your chest, feeling the slow, steady movement underneath, acknowledging that this is where the spark begins and where it can fade. Let the breath cool the embers. Let the body settle. Inch by inch, let the heat drain. Like daylight slipping below the horizon, feel the peace that comes not from winning anything, but from no longer fighting. Let yourself drift toward rest. Calm, steady, gentle, like a breeze, moving through tall trees on a quiet summer night. Story A 36. There is a story told often by Thich Nhat Hanh, shared in living rooms, classrooms, and meditation groups across America. It's the story of washing dishes, simple, ordinary, yet full of truth. One evening, a young student washed the monastery's dishes with great frustration. His mind wasn't on the warm water, or the sound of the plates clinking gently, or the simple rhythm of cleaning. Instead, he rushed through the task, thinking only of finishing quickly so he could relax with a cup of tea afterward. The teacher approached him, noticing the hurried movements. "My friend," the teacher said softly, "there are two ways to wash dishes. You can wash dishes in order to have tea afterward, or you can wash dishes simply to wash dishes." The student paused, feeling a small wave of embarrassment rise within him. The teacher continued, his voice warm and slow. "If you wash dishes only to get to the next moment, you will miss your life, because the next moment never stops moving. If you cannot be present while washing the dishes, you will not be present while drinking the tea." The student stood still, the warm water holding his hands, the quiet settling around him. Maybe you felt something like this, doing one thing while your mind runs toward the next, washing dishes while planning tomorrow, driving while thinking about work, lying in bed, still tangled in the day. You might feel as though the present moment is just an obstacle between you and the life you really want. But consider this: the present moment is the only place your life actually happens. Take a soft breath, feeling the air move gently through you like warm water over your hands, and exhale, letting the rushing slow. Imagine standing at that sink, warm water rising around your fingers, the scent of soap, the simple movement of wiping, rinsing, placing the dish aside. Nothing to hurry toward, nothing to escape. Let the breath move like a small wave, soothing, steady, slow. Inhale, here. Exhale, now. You might picture yourself in your own kitchen, quiet, dimly lit, the world settling for the night. Let the rhythm of your breath become the rhythm of life. Slowing down, not rushing forward, not reaching backward. Feel the peace that comes when you stop running. Feel the calm that appears when you fully arrive. Allow yourself to rest deeply. letting the past day dissolve like soap bubbles sliding down the drain, letting tomorrow wait, letting the breath carry you gently towards sleep. Slow, warm, peaceful. Hello. I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. The young monk bowed his head, understanding in a way he hadn't before. His effort had become strain. His relaxation had become laziness. What he needed was the middle path, balanced, steady, gentle. Maybe you've felt this in your own days, trying so hard to do well at work, trying so hard to be a good partner, a good parent, a good friend, trying so hard to manage everything, only to feel the string snapping inside you. Or perhaps you've gone the other way, so tired you can barely begin, feeling disconnected, drifting through tasks without purpose. Consider the lute and the middle string. Take a soft breath, like tuning your inner instrument with care. Exhale, letting the tension soften and the heaviness lift. Imagine holding a simple wooden lute, the scent of old varnish, the smooth curve of the body, the strings catching warm candlelight. Feel yourself adjusting them gently, patiently, until the sound is clear, full, just right. Let the breath tune you. Inhale, steady. Exhale, ease. Imagine the middle path as a gentle walkway through a quiet evening forest. Not pushing, not collapsing, simply moving with the natural ease of breath. Let the body settle into comfort. Let the mind settle into balance. Let the rhythm of the breath guide you like a quiet song. And when sleep comes, let it come like the soft resonance of a perfectly tuned string, humming gently in the darkness. Story 38. There is an old Zen tale, told in both monasteries and mindfulness retreats by the sea. It is the story of the traveler and the teacup. A restless traveler once visited a wise teacher high in the mountains. He spoke rapidly about all the things he wanted to know: enlightenment, peace, the meaning of life, how to quiet his storms of thought. The more he spoke, the more agitated he became. The teacher listened kindly, then offered tea. He poured slowly into the traveler's cup, but did not stop. When the cup became full, the tea spilled over the edges, dripping onto the table, splashing onto the traveler's hands. "Stop!" the traveler cried. "The cup is full." The teacher nodded. "Yes, and so are you." The traveler paused, breath caught in his chest. "You come to me asking for peace," the teacher said. "Hello. I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Let your breath become that clearing. Inhale, space. Exhale, release. Imagine the teacher's hut quiet, filled with soft light, the distant sound of wind through pines, the warmth of tea rising gently. Feel your own mind becoming a little less crowded, a little more open, a little more willing to rest. Let the breath empty you of the rush, of the noise, of the need to figure everything out tonight. As your body settles deeper, feel the mind soften, feel the spaciousness widen, feel sleep approach quietly, like warm tea filling an open cup. Let yourself drift into that spacious rest. Story 39. There is a Jataka tale, centuries old, retold by American teachers to help listeners find comfort when life feels unsteady. It is the story of the storm and the tree. A great storm once swept across a valley where many animals lived. Wind howled through the trees, tearing branches from their trunks. Rain blew sideways, battering everything in its path. Many animals ran for shelter, trembling and frightened, but one large tree stood steady. Its branches bent and swayed with the wind, but its roots reached deep into the earth. It did not resist the storm. It simply moved with it. When the storm finally passed, the valley was littered with broken branches and fallen trees. But that great bending tree stood tall, drops of rain sliding quietly down its leaves. A small bird flew down and asked, "How did you not fall?" The tree replied, "I bent when I needed to bend, and held firm where it mattered." Maybe you have lived through storms of your own days when life felt heavy. Conversations that shook you, unexpected news that rattled your calm, moments where you didn't know what was coming next. But consider the tree. Bending is not breaking. Softening is not surrender. Flexibility is a kind of strength. Take a slow, gentle breath, imagining your own roots growing deeper. Exhale, letting the tension move out of your body like wind passing through leaves. Imagine standing in that valley after the storm. The air fresh, the sky clearing, the earth soft beneath your feet. See the great tree nearby, tall and steady, its branches moving softly with the last sighs of wind. Let yourself feel supported, grounded, safe. Inhale, strength. Exhale, softness. Let the rhythm of the breath become the rhythm of a tree swaying gently in the night breeze. Steady, flexible, unbroken. As you settle deeper, imagine the storm drifting far away, leaving only calm behind, leaving only the quiet that comes after weather has passed. Let sleep come like gentle rainfall. Soft, soothing, peaceful. Story 40. There is a well-loved Zen story about a man walking along a quiet country road at dusk. The sky glowed with fading orange. The scent of wildflowers drifted in the air, and fireflies flickered like little lanterns waking for the night. As the man walked, he saw what looked like a snake curled in the path. He froze, heart pounding, fear rising through his chest. He stayed still for a long moment, the shadows deepening around him. Finally, with shaking hands, he lit his small lantern. In the soft glow, he saw the truth. It wasn't a snake at all. It was only a rope. His fear dissolved instantly, replaced by a mixture of relief and quiet embarrassment. Later, he told a monk in a nearby village about the incident. The monk smiled warmly and said, "So many of our fears are ropes that we mistake for snakes. Perhaps you've had moments like this. Fears rising from the shadows of the mind, worries that seem so real in the dark, thoughts that coil and twist until they feel dangerous, only to soften when light is brought to each of them. Consider this. The mind often reacts before it sees clearly. Take a slow breath, like lighting a small lantern inside yourself. Exhale softly, letting the imagined snakes loosen their grip. Imagine walking on that quiet country road yourself. The evening warm, fireflies drifting lazily, the gentle crunch of gravel under your steps. See the rope lying in your path, harmless, ordinary, and feel the relief wash through you. Inhale, clarity. Exhale, ease. Let the breath become your lantern, revealing the simple truth beneath the shadows of thought. Let the body soften as the false dangers fade. Let the mind rest, knowing that many of the things that trouble you in the dark are gentler than they appear. As you settle deeper into the night, imagine placing the lantern down beside you. its glow soft, steady, calming. Feel sleep approaching, like a warm, safe light surrounding you. Let yourself drift gently, peacefully into a night where the roads are quiet. The ropes are only ropes, and the heart is free to rest. As you rest here, lying quietly, let your body feel the gentle pull of gravity, softening into the bed beneath you. Notice your shoulders, how they may have carried the day's weight, and now, slowly, let them loosen, let them sink. Your hands, perhaps they held worries, plans, or tasks, and now they rest, releasing, letting go. Take a long, slow breath, as if inhaling the calm of a quiet river at dawn, and exhale, as if the river carries away every ripple of tension. Imagine yourself beside that river now, the water moving smoothly over stones, shimmering in the moonlight, soft, slow, endless. You watch the reflection of the sky, clouds drifting without hurry, the gentle sway of trees at the water's edge. Perhaps you notice how lightly the air moves over your skin, a breeze that has traveled through distant fields, or a night wind brushing softly past an open window. Let that sensation reach all the corners of your body, and let it settle you. Think of the moon above, its gentle glow spilling across quiet streets, rooftops, trees, and riverbanks. The same moon that watches over oceans, mountains, and the small lights of town windows. It reminds you that you are part of a vast, unending flow, calm, steady, and luminous. Allow the breath to become slower, natural, a rhythm that needs nothing, a rhythm that simply is. You might feel a wave of gratitude rise, subtle and warm, gratitude for this day, for your body, for the moments you experienced, for the simple act of lying here, breathing, being. And if thoughts drift into your mind, worries, lists, memories, imagine them like autumn leaves, floating on that river. You do not need to catch them. You do not need to push them away. Simply notice and let them float down, down, out of sight. Picture a candle flickering nearby, its small flame steady, casting soft shadows on the walls. That gentle light mirrors the quiet of your own inner space, a place always available, always patient, always at rest. Perhaps your legs have grown heavy. Your chest feels warm and expansive, your mind softening with each exhale, each breath becoming a lullaby. Imagine walking slowly along a quiet forest trail at twilight. Soft moss underfoot, the earthy scent of pine and soil, distant birds settling for the night. Every step releases a little tension. Every inhale invites a little more calm. Every exhale carries the day's weight away. And now, picture yourself lying under an open sky, vast, infinite, sprinkled with countless stars, each star a gentle reminder, you are part of this universe, whole and complete, in this very moment. No need to do anything more, no need to fix anything more. You might feel a sense of stillness filling your chest, spreading to your fingers, toes, and the tip of your head. A quiet warmth that doesn't need attention, only presence. Only presence. Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey Together, your breath continues. Soft, steady, unforced. A simple tide moving in and out. The only rhythm that needs attention. The only movement required. Perhaps you notice how small the world feels in this moment. And yet, how vast, connected, like the gentle swell of an ocean, under moonlight, infinite, calm, and carrying you softly forward. There is nothing more to do tonight. Nothing more to prepare for. Nothing more to chase. Only this. Only rest. Only presence. Only being. And as the final words drift from me, imagine the river of night carrying you. Each exhale a gentle current. Each inhale a tender wave, moving you toward deep sleep, toward renewal, toward inner peace. Let the body settle. Let the mind soften. Let the breath guide you. Let the stillness cradle you. Let the quiet enfold you. Let the moonlight and candlelight meet your dreams. And now, drift into gentle, endless rest.